Arsenal haven't announced anything. They haven't released some dramatic behind-the-scenes documentary. They haven't posted a flashy, new tactics explained video on socials. They haven't even hinted that something revolutionary is happening. But if you've been paying attention, really paying attention, you can feel it. Arsenal are changing. Quietly, deliberately, subtly. Not through quotes, not through hype, and not through PR. The transformation isn't happening in the stadium. It's happening at London Colney, behind locked gates, on training pitches that the public never sees, in sessions that look ordinary from a distance, but are anything but ordinary when you study what they're actually doing. This is not a story about transfers. Not a story about passion or mentality. Not a story about one breakout player. This is a story about a manager building a tactical revolution in silence. A revolution most fans have completely missed. Because the real evolution of Arsenal is happening long before the first whistle on match day. And today, we're pulling the curtain back. Because Arsenal are hiding something in those training sessions. Something deep. Something intentional. Something that could redefine the Premier League if it continues developing. For years, Arsenal struggled with one problem: a lack of tactical identity, strong enough to withstand pressure. They were stylish, but fragile, clean, but predictable, technically gifted, but structurally inconsistent. Teams didn't fear Arsenal's patterns. They studied them, they pressed them, they disrupted them, and Arsenal collapsed the moment the rhythm broke. Arteta knew this before most fans did. He understood that Arsenal didn't just need instructions. They needed a code, a philosophy, a synchronized system that could survive chaos, absorb pressure, and still produce the same football. And to build that system, he went deeper than formation boards or tactical speeches. He went into the training ground, into the repetition, into the structure hidden beneath the structure. Because the real Arteta, the real tactician, doesn't reveal himself on the touchline. He reveals himself Monday to Friday, before anyone watches a match. So what exactly is Arsenal hiding in these training sessions? Let's start with the foundation, the thing that has quietly changed more than anything else: rhythm. Arsenal now control the tempo of matches with a precision that feels engineered. They move slower than you expect until they don't. They circulate possession in triangles until a third-man trigger appears. They drag the opposition from vertical block to horizontal block until a half-space lane opens. This rhythm didn't appear naturally. It was built. Arteta's sessions revolve around micro-tempo drills, sequences where players learn not just where to pass, but when to pass, why to pass, and what tempo the move requires. Every pass has intention. Every touch has consequence. Every position has rhythm. Because Arteta isn't teaching a team, he's teaching an orchestra. And just like a conductor, he controls the speed of everything. But rhythm is only the first layer of the revolution. The real magic happens in the space between players, the spacing, the distances, the geometry of Arsenal's shape. For years, the biggest problem Arsenal faced was spacing that collapsed under pressure. Players were either too wide, too narrow, too far, too close. The structure broke at the slightest hint of a high press. Now, the spacing is elite. And it's because of a training method that almost no one talks about: positional elasticity. Arteta teaches his players not to occupy a position, but to manipulate it. Watch any Arsenal game carefully, and you'll see it. A midfielder steps wide to pull a marker. A fullback drifts inside to create a numerical advantage. A winger tucks in to form a box in midfield. A center back carries forward to break a line. None of this is improvisation. This is design. Arsenal don't have a formation. They have a living, breathing constellation of roles that expand and contract based on in-game triggers drilled relentlessly in training. But the part of the revolution almost nobody has noticed? The thing hidden deep beneath the surface? It's how Arteta has rebuilt Arsenal's defensive intelligence. Not the high press, the rest defense. The shape Arsenal fall into the second they lose the ball. This is where the revolution becomes obvious. Arteta no longer trains his players to immediately win the ball back. He trains them to deny progression, to smother options, to channel the opponent into corridors Arsenal want not where the opponent wants to go. This is where Arsenal have evolved beyond simple pressing and into pressure orchestration. Most teams press the ball. Arsenal press the environment. When an opponent receives the ball, Arsenal aren't reacting to the moment, they're reacting to the next moment. Their shape shifts, their angles close, their distances contract. They don't hunt the player, they trap the decision. And when Arsenal win the ball, this is where the revolution becomes frightening. Because Arteta hasn't built just a possession system. He's built a hybrid aggression system, a model that blends vertical brutality, positional intelligence, and total structure safety. The transitions under Arteta now operate on lanes of certainty, predetermined channels each attacker activates the moment Arsenal regain possession. One goes wide, one attacks the half space, one drops to bounce the ball, one stretches the line. It looks instinctive. It looks chaotic, but it's rehearsed every single day. But the deepest layer, the thing that truly separates Arsenal's training from everyone else, is what happens in the small-sided drills. Most fans think of rondos as warm-ups. At Arsenal, rondos are tactical laboratories. Arteta doesn't use rondos to teach passing. He uses them to teach stress. Stress in tight spaces. Stress under pressure. Stress while maintaining structure. Stress while creating angles. Stress while manipulating rhythm. These drills aren't about keeping the ball. They're about keeping the system alive inside chaos. And it works, because Arsenal now look like a team that thrives in chaos instead of collapsing under it. But here's the twist. Arteta didn't copy Pep. He didn't copy Klopp. He didn't copy De Zerbi. He didn't copy anyone. He took pieces of all of them. The positional discipline, the pressing triggers, the manipulation of bait lines, the fluid rotations, and fused them into something uniquely Arsenal. Something rooted in the club's past. The elegance, the fluidity, the intelligence, but sharpened for a modern era that demands both structure and freedom. Because that's what this revolution really is. Freedom inside structure. Creativity inside geometry. Chaos inside order. Arsenal play like a team that has been given permission to improvise, as long as the shape remains intact. This is why they look so fluid without losing control. Why they look so aggressive without losing balance. Why they look so unpredictable without losing identity. And all of this, every layer of it, comes from training sessions the public never sees. Fans will talk about signings, about big wins, about spectacular goals. But years from now, when people look back at how Arsenal evolved into one of the most tactically advanced teams in Europe, they'll realize the real transformation didn't happen in front of crowds. It happened in training, in silence, in repetition, in the invisible details nobody talks about. Because Arsenal aren't just developing a team, they're developing a tactical language. A language only they speak. A language born in training sessions that are reshaping every principle Arteta believes in. And the scariest part for the rest of the Premier League? This tactical revolution has only just begun.